Alright, welcome back. Let's continue. Witness who you will find can prove one thing for us. There was Zach Mott who shot the victim in the forehead. Very well. We'll pause for a 15-minute recess. This might be my lucky break. I need that 15 minutes to talk to my client, Zach. Court adjourned. How you gonna go to be continued right after I end the episode? Come on, man. How dare you? I ain't saving. April 19th, 11:21 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. I have to say, I expected nothing less. We've only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened, actually. I don't think you would believe me if I told you. Better that you discovered the truth for yourself. I was thinking of you, you know. Maybe need less thinking and more talking. I'm in the hospital. What really happened? The way your eyes gleam, Mr. Wright. You'll scare Trucy. Speaking of which, where is she? Have you seen the problem yourself, the letter? The one shot in the forehead. One, right? And the reason he speaks of. I cannot deny my mentor's wishes, even if it meant my own death. Why not? There's something I will not say, for now at least. What's this for now business? I've done many things in my life, some, well, poorly. This is a cross we must bear alone to our graves. We want to know about the night of the incident. Fine, this guy sure likes to take his time getting to the important stuff. Of course, I don't intend of shooting my mentor. I took him to his room then and at the appointed time. Found there upon his bedside 2 pistols. 2. Yes, the one I had used on stage. And the one that had been used by my partner, Valent. Oh, for the Zack and Valent's quick draw thing. The mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sound of his breath. I took the pistol in my hand. I cannot deny my resolve faltered then, for a moment. You faltered? You mean you thought about shooting him? Well, there was a reason I could not refuse his request. It is that just request, although not his first. So there were other requests you couldn't refuse before. To be honest, I have not always been steadfast, and I fear I brought pain upon Trucy. He was magnificently coercing his disciples somehow. So what is going on in the Chupka Marte? Yet, in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. In your pocket? If you examine the bullet in the clown's head, you'll find it to be different than the one in my mentor. What were those called? Rifling marks? Yes, well, that is all I have to tell you concerning this case. Concerning the case? You mean there's something else you can tell me? You're a fascinating man, Phoenix Wright. Thanks? Yes, there is something. My mentor's eyes opened. What? Magnifique Marte? The old devil is not asleep, you see. Of course, the ganja would have woken him anyway. And then we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. It was a long discussion, maybe 5-10 minutes or so. What did you talk about? Aha, Mr. Wright, did I not just tell you? Not concerned in this case. Jack Marte seems pretty steadfast to me, or maybe just stubborn. Mr. Wright, your presence is questioned in the courtroom. Once again, I'm in your hands. Alright, let's get back in there. April 19th, 11:37 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. Yes, there we go. Where is the back session? During our recess, the bullet was found and dug out from the clown's head. Oh, this is news, and the rifling works. It wasn't time to do a detailed analysis, but I did find the weapon type matches the murder weapon. Well, that's not very conclusive, is it? I was only about to call my very decisive witness. Your decisive witness? How many times have I heard those words? Though they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Don't worry on my account. I'm quite confident his witness will do the job. After all, he is intimately acquainted with the players in our little projection, being the other half of Troop Gramarte's famous duo, Zack and Valent. Valent Gramarte. So we get to meet the great Megafinger's other disciple. Hey, he looks really young. Perhaps we'll start by asking your name and occupation. Flint Camarte, magician. And you're the other side's person, are you? You can prove your fellow students' or partner's guilt. Fate, the grand illusion, filled with traps and tricks. Wait, the shooting took place in that hospital after 11 o'clock at night. If you're a witness, does that mean you were there that late? If one deduces this logic, the conclusion is yes. Okay. I always get the characters, don't I? I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, a witness received this. That looks very familiar. What? Wait. That's the same letter Zach Marte received. Yes, perhaps I should say, ta-da! Order, order, order. What does it say? Surely not the same thing. How did you see for yourself? Love student Valent. Yes, this is... Oh, 11:20. Okay. Well, it's practically the same. Of course, that is in evidence. 9 days later, too. This is most unusual. What was exactly going on with you folks? What exactly was your troop Camarte up to? What do you mean? I was having trouble envisioning a man who could ask his students to kill him. Both of them, no less. Just my opinion, Herr Judge. But from these letters, I'd say he was coercing them, not asking them. Took the mission's path together, and in so doing, shared much of our lives. People are so close, there is strain. A warping of relations, you might say. It has nothing to do with the case at hand. I wish you mean you're not going to tell us. Which makes me wonder even more about this reason why they couldn't refuse. Well, let's get on for the testimony with starters. The Lieutenant Zach Marte stands accused. Tell us why. Oh, I'll do more than that. For where he walks, the red roses rise singing hymns to the miracle that is magic. Fascinating. Though I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could be as clear as pointing to you as a suspect. The letter, the murder weapon, and the 2 bullets found at the scene. In fact, the only difference seems to be the designated time. Ah ha ha ha. Every musician knows timing is everything. Yes, and now it's time to get this party fired up. Night of the crime. That night I visited the hospital room at the time of the magnificently requested. None of Gunpowder's hung in the room. My mentor had taken its final blow. None imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. The deal with the dead was still a deal. Dead the sweet kiss, I give it to the clown. I phoned the doctor and the police. So you're the one who reported the crime. Indeed, I would think. This fact alone would make clear my name of suspicion. There's no time to make conclusions. This cross-examination generally comes before the conclusions in the court. But if your testimony proves to be true, the defendant, Zach Marte, is guilty. It wasn't Zach Marte, then the killer was you, Valent. I know disappearing I can get rid of that. Which was, according to the letter, 11:20 p.m. Indeed. And magic timing is everything. Right. Consider the illusion of teleportation. If I would appear on stage for my stunt double is left, how would that look? Why, it would reveal the very secrets of my magic. Not to reveal the very secrets of your magic to all of us. Let's move on. You did the designated time, and what did you say? Still have her head in the room. My mentor had taken its final blow. So, you weren't worried for your own safety at all? I mean, you smelled gunpowder, yes? What if the shooter was still nearby? I did not consider this, to be honest. It's prudent for a magician to have a good imagination. Really? Isn't magic all about illusions and imagination? How about this? You were the shooter, which is why you weren't afraid. Now you're the one imagining. It is forbidden for a lawyer to have a good imagination. Is it? Buddhists will refrain from pausing so suspiciously for responding. And forbidden imagination starting to imagine things. Speaking of imagining, you didn't imagine that either. Which respects to this reason, neither of you could have refused. So it does. My partner, he did not refuse. But McNamee wrote the same thing to you. Why could you refuse if Zach couldn't? Because I have a way of steel, of course. I do this trick where I bend steel bars. Perhaps steel isn't so strong. So, which is it? Mind if I continue? Stop spitting your staff. You gave the death. Okay, very well. There are 2 bullet holes at this scene. One in the victim, one in the clown. You're saying the one who shot the clown was you. I heard that my partner Zach has said much the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown committed the murder. Better dig around here a bit more and see what I can turn up. Mr. Valent, let me ask you something else concerning the crime scene, namely... the number of pistols. How many pistols were there when you entered the room? Which you mean what, precisely? 2 pistols were used in the Zackrament quick-draw shoot-'em, correct? One for each of you. You're well informed, yet only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night. When Zach told me back in the lobby. Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I was talking to his room that night at the appointed time, and found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. The pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. I see no problem with this statement. Only 1 pistol was visible in the photograph of the crime scene, after all. So you picked up that pistol and fired it. Indeed I did. Alakazam. Alazing. Alakaboom. Is the number of pistols really so important? It's actually very important. More pistols is quite important, Your Honor. Very well. Please add the detail to your testimony. What can I do but obey? According to the defendant, Zach Camarte, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on that table. 2. One of those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead. Then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume the defendant has some brains in his head. Well, what about Mr. What about what Mr. Flint has told us? You see, there's something about his testimony that doesn't make sense. What's my therapy? I told you, I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown. That's your story, at least. But the rifling marks tell us a very different story, Mr. Valent. Recall what Mr. Gavin told us. We compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun. The rifling marks of the bullets were a perfect match. Mr. Flynn, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead. Order, order, order. Well, this is all rather sudden. What have I done? But Mr. Gavin, I would record an apology. Sorry. Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that the 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. Now that the rifling marks only prove the type of gun that fired them. But that's just not what you told us before. You said that you verified the murder weapon. That's why I'm apologizing to you now, quite sincerely I might add. But you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my youth. That was just this morning. I'm still young, and I might add, it wasn't really my fault. The defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime. We'll not be having this unpleasant discussion now. Valent Camarte. Yes, Your Honor. You represented this courtroom as a decisive witness, but you've proven to be more divisive than decisive.
Objection!
Yes. You'll see in time. The testimony so far has merely been a review of the facts. The proof comes next. Could you elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin? Mr. Valent entered the hospital room. The victim had already been shot. The next testimony will prove, here right, the real fight is about to begin. Bring it. Very well, the witness will not testify to the court. He's able to determine who shot what. Who shot what? From the hospital room at the appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m. When describing the body, I fulfilled my obligation and called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. It was quite clear about the time of death. 11:10 p.m. The one in the room at the time was my partner, not me. Those sounds are rather close, you have to admit. You're talking about a alibi established over a matter of minutes. Use a 10-minute discrepancy between as a base of your alibi. Easy to explain the situation, Herr Judge. For example, take out a beauty hit singled. 13 years hard time for love. Cue to the song, press the play button. Then it'll play for 2 minutes, 15 seconds. 200 times, the result is the same. The Butte singer was only 2 minutes 15 seconds long. What a ripoff. Magic is a world of utmost precision. Hocus pocus requires admirable focus. And the time of death examined by the doctor was incontrovertible truth. Very well. The prosecution warns us that we're dealing with rather precise times. We expect their cross-examination to require the same level of precision. I hope the defense refrains from its customary broad, sweeping accusations. Let's see where the focus to this case. Let's see where the focus this case is so clearly demands. Point taken. Baser's remarks result in a penalty. Carry on, Mr. Wright. Carry on, right? Okay. So, are you saying I can't... Are you saying I can't press things? Or... I mean, the autopsy report is broad. Like, why could the doctor point down a more specific time than, you know, the coroner or the medical examiner? Maybe those are one and the same. I'm not sure. Why could the doctor be more sure than, you know, the other doctor who deals with dead bodies rather than alive ones? I might get penalized for this, but I'm gonna give a press a shot. I don't think I'm stepping on a limb to say I have some doubts about this. How could the doctor be so precise with the time? We don't only get an estimated time of death, true. I'm not sure I've heard of a verified time of death. Logic is in making the complex appear simple, but reality is quite the opposite. What appears complex in this case is a simple matter of subtraction. The other person has done their arithmetic homework. The point here is the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph of the scene. Quote what you heard earlier about the victim. Magnifique Romanti schedule. Earn at 10. Magnifique took an IV drop for 30 minutes. You can see the IV right there, yes. Now look a little closer. Follow the tube down from the bag to the end. Ah, the needle's been removed. Now that lazy found that he was shot. That would seem to be the case. When the needle cleanses out, the IV no longer drips. Ah, you can measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid functions for our purposes an hourglass of sorts. This is how the doctor will determine the time of death. When the amount of time remaining in the bag was determined that the IV had stopped 10 minutes after administration began. Interesting. And so it was, when I glanced into the room. 10 minutes had passed since that horrible crime was committed. And this is proof. Well, Mr. Wright, does that seem important? Yes. Well, seeing as it's the biggest clue we have to the time of death, I'd say it's very important. Agreed. It would be hard to imagine a more precise way to determine the time. Build the power of arithmetic. Very well. Witness will add this detail to his testimony. Sometimes the most magical thing of all is the truth. Does it though? Shouldn't it be 15 minutes if he showed up and did it and left? Can I press this statement? Is that allowed? You know CIV yourself by any chance? When I first entered that room, the surge of gunpowder assailed me. And next, the mark of death upon my mentor's forehead. And at his left arm I spy a rose dripping and wilted. Its thorn discarded the IV needle. Knocked that from the vein from the Lord's shot, luckily for you. That if you had not been there, why, you might be a suspect. Indubitably so. I might say it's thankful to my lucky color. Your lucky color? Indeed, even today I wear it proudly upon my suspect self. For always, without fail, it brings me luck. Well, when Zach Falkland ran their first Musicians Grand Prix. Yes, the very one held by the Association of International Magicians. I was adored on this entire then too. And a trophy, a bust. What a great day that was. This is one trip down memory lane no one needs. Lucky call, yes indeed, and that IV too. I say, I think he was especially for me, Valent. Does seem to be the case, indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, any thoughts on this testimony? I'm sure looks happy with himself. So for this lucky color testimony. Yeah, actually, it's green, not yellow. There's a problem. It only sounds like your lucky color has brought you plenty of luck. But not this time. Mr. Valent, your lucky color has betrayed you. I'm afraid you've lost to me. Your Honor. Witness testimony just clearly contradicts the evidence. What? Please recall my warning for the grin of this cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Base accusations will be dutifully penalized. I hope this late accusation is well based. Don't worry, I've got all your bases right here. Very well, let's hear the defendant's claim. Where's your evidence that contradicts what Mr. Valent has told us? The picture. The crime scene tells all, Your Honor. The photo of the crime scene. All this talk of color is yearning for black and white, clear-cut simplicity. Tell us how right. There's words of contradiction in this photo. My pleasure. And I assure you, it's quite simple. But I can't promise anything in black and white. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What in this photo contradicts the witness's testimony? The IV color, it's green. Valent Cromartie, let's get one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes? Can't take some mystery out of it, but yes. Something wrong with yellow, Mr. Wright. Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Taking a look at the photo of the crime scene. What's this? Confusion and doubt. Tell us, what do your elderly eyes spy? If my elderly eyes can see the problem here, Mr. Valent. Look at that IV bag. What is this? What's foul mag? It'd be hard to call the IV liquid yellow. I'm afraid no medic was involved in taking this photograph. No! Bunnies and birds! Order! What does this mean? This is some kind of mistake. Yes, Master Gavin, your witness is a mistake. Greener they are, the harder they fall. Suppose there's no substitute for experience. Valent Cromartie has reminded us several times. The lucky color is yellow. The IV is clearly not. Well... This contradiction can only mean one thing. Oh. And to think, you almost had to me. Ugh. The IV music is gone, and it doesn't look good. So, we'll come back next time and see what he means. So until...
Objection!